Today we're going to do John chapter 3. We're going to get right into it because it's been pressing on my mind since this morning. So, yep, we're going to get right into it. So, John is one of the four major gospels. You have Matthew, you have Mark, you have Luke, and then you have John. If you've never read the Bible and you want to start with those four. I'm going to honestly say that about every book, Old Testament, New Testament, whatever book, because honestly, the whole entire Bible leads to Jesus. And like getting to know him. That's Jesus' love letter to us. That is God's love letter to us because he wants us to know Jesus and be like Jesus. And since salvation is personal, I'm going to always say this and emphasize that. You need to know where God is leading you to read and where to start. Because this walk is personal with you and Christ. Okay? And so the four gospels is like an overview of who Jesus was and what did he do, the teachings he did, the miracles that was taking place, the healings, the deliverances, and just basically all of that. All right, so let's get right into it. So we meet this man named Nicodemus. Who is Nicodemus? Nicodemus is basically one of the religious leaders that went to see Jesus at night. Keep in mind that part. Remember, okay, so he was a Pharisee, and just before we get into it, I'm not going to get too much into the Pharisees because there was like two groups that they like to, there was the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and there was the Samaritans and the Herodians. This is a bunch of groups. But the Pharisees, which was what Nicodemus was, he basically believed in the resurrection. He believed in the afterlife. And he was one that like, he represented like the working class, the middle class people. And he had the people on the side. So they believed, that group believed, and they really basically taught about Jesus. They taught about him. They went around speaking, telling whoever they met about Jesus. Like that was something they were known for. So he was a prominent religious leader. And so he interpreted the meaning of God's instructions or law to the Israelites. Now, Nicodemus told Jesus, "Your miracles show that you are a teacher sent from God." And then when Jesus responded saying, "No one can see the kingdom of God unless he is born again." Now Nicodemus began asking questions. He asked Jesus, well, he had never heard anything about being born again. So he said, does that mean that we have to become a little baby again? And then Jesus said no. You see, when we are born as babies into our human family, we are born with a sinful nature. Because remember the fall of